And so what I started doing in a number of places, for example, we've been developing this in Swindon probably as we speak, or hopefully they've developed it now, is kind of try to think about the different kind of questions we would ask and the different kinds of measures we would need depending on which customer's getting what kind of domiciliary care service. So we'll go back to the very first list I put on the very first slide and say there would be a kind of set of things that we'd want to ask about a service. We would understand that there are all these variables might make a difference to what the service does. We need to understand that. We need to work with providers on that. And then you could develop a set of measures. Yeah, so then you can develop a set of measures that actually begin to tell you whether this service is working. So this is a set of measures for a longer term reablement service. You'd expect to see that 20% of people have their needs reduced over a year period. So 20% of people in a year period, and you'd bring that into the contract. So you'd look at the different kinds of care being delivered. And you'd begin to kind of define this. So here, sorry, this is what I was looking for earlier. Here's the measures for short-term reablement. So for short-term reablement, is the service being delivered within 48 hours of the request? Because that's what you need. A lot of that relates to hospital. Are over 60% of people needing no further help after 8 weeks? So it's quite simple, clear measures. Do a further 20% need less care in that period? And those two figures are not what I call stretch targets. If there were stretch targets, that would be 70%. And that probably would be similar. Do over 80% of those who get offered long-term domiciliary care, have they actually been through this service? Because you sometimes find that people have skipped the opportunity of reablement and flipped straight into a service. So a simple set of measures can be there in the contract, don't need to be anything more than the culture is set. And it will vary according to what the intervention on offer is. So you'd have to be clear, these people have gone into a short-term reablement service. There is a cohort of people we're offering a longer term. And you'd expect, for example, that no more than 10% of those people have ended up in residential care. Because that's part of the aim of what the service is delivering. There's I heard somebody earlier talk about extra care housing. There's a brilliant write-up of Aston University writing about some extra care housing schemes in Birmingham, where they introduced the concept of well-being, might be familiar to one or two of you, into these extra care schemes. And they focused with the older people on their diet, their exercise, and their social activity. And they had a coordinator who worked with all of the residents to support those activities. And about 80% of people who started the programme had met the frailty index score as being frail. So at the outset, the majority of people in the programme have been assessed by a medic as hitting the frailty index. After a year of the programme, that figure fell to 30%. Significant numbers of people who had been frail a year earlier because of the programme on offer had reduced their frailty. And as a consequence, which is why this figure comes in, actually their visits to GPs fell extraordinarily. In fact, the Aston University suggests actually that programme, the savings to health, were far greater than the savings to social care. So a kind of a real sense that if we get this right help to people, if the kind of focus is on the right things in the longer term programme, these are the indicators we would expect.